As I said, ladies and gentlemen, our next seminar, our fourth one, it seems like we've got 11, 12, we've started off. It's about to take place. This is presented by David Goldrick, I'm sure you all know, from the Cap Fusion Network, and he'll be giving a talk on staying relevant and the advantages of the sharing economy. I think we're ready to start, Dave.
Yeah.
David Goldrick.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Yeah, so I will indeed be presenting on this. I guess really where we're going to start is looking at the state of the industry right now and the threats that we face. As you all know, we face and have faced massive challenges from Uber and Bolt. A lot of people provincially are still feeling pain even from Bolt right now. And the idea that your local competitor is your competitor, I think, has sort of diminished quite a lot. In the future, we're obviously got people out there in the world that are circling around. People like Diddy Shishing, who are, I don't know if anybody knows their driver numbers, but it's 15 million now, which is an astonishing sized operation. Then you got Kareem, who are, a massive force to be reckoned with, obviously Middle Eastern money coming to the table. So, there are very big challenges on the horizon, even though we've already faced some now. I don't believe that those challenges are the only ones that we will face. So why are the apps winning? Obviously, they have a huge density of drivers wherever they operate. So that means that customers get cabs on tap anywhere. The wait times we all know, or an Uber, etc., in the middle of a city, even at peak time, they can be minutes, if low minutes, single-digit minutes, which is a challenge to try to compete with. That in turn means that there's a lot of nearby work for drivers, which they like. Obviously nobody wants to be doing many lead-in miles to actually do a job. So that is very attractive to drivers, and we've seen that the flexibility that they offer and the app, that's the only real relationship they have to have. It is very attractive to drivers. There's also the convenience and the simplicity. Their apps are as good as it gets, to be fair. The lack of friction, the slickness of how they do what they do, it is world class, and we have to accept that. So looking at Uber usage right now, and this is part of what I want to talk about staying relevant, is because the people that we currently move right now are predominantly in the 35 probably to 55 range. Obviously we have young people that use us as well. But Uber, if you look at what their numbers are, we're talking about 60% of 16 to 24-year-olds have used an Uber in the last 12 months. Whereas once you start getting down into the over 55s in our world, it's under 25% have used an Uber in the last year. They don't use it; they are still our customers. And obviously, there's a fair bit of don't know and can't recall, so we don't worry too much about that. If you look at countries on Earth right now as well, Brazil, you're talking about 42% of the entire population have used an Uber last year. United Kingdom, 24% of the entire population of Britain. So a quarter of Britons have taken an Uber ride in the last 12 months. It's, the penetration is undeniable. So obviously we need to align ourselves with the ways that our future bookers will book. At the moment, we did a study, we looked at Cordic numbers actually a couple of months ago, and on the entire Cordic platform of operators that were out there, 76% of the bookings were made by phone, which obviously gives you an indication of the demographic of people that we're catering for as well. They are still very much phone users, even though we've all got apps, even though we've got web bookers, etc. The chosen method of booking with traditional private hire companies is still very much via a phone call. In the near future, obviously, as we see the change in demographic, our over 55s at some point won't be taking those rides like they were. The people who are traditional private hire users are diminishing, and we have to make sure that we start to actually drag some of these younger people into us by giving them the booking methods that they choose to use. Okay, we've got apps. Well, these kids, obviously, they don't make phone calls. They don't call each other. They WhatsApp each other in the same room. They are almost completely text-based in everything that they do. So, if you think that these guys are going to start making phone calls to book cabs, it's simply not going to happen. We need to make sure that we are giving them the means that they want to do it with. So, just going to play this for you.
Cab Fusion, powered by Cordic, is proud to announce its partnership with M2M TaxiBot for our new Meta-approved AI WhatsApp TaxiBot. Transform the taxi booking experience with our premium WhatsApp service. No app download required. With just a simple hi message to your WhatsApp for business number, users book a journey and manage it with ease. Plus, our built-in smart messaging service will keep your customers notified every step of the way. Our fully automated WhatsApp AI chatbot handles the entire booking process from start to finish. With its intelligent booking system, you can customize the booking process to fit your business needs, including multi-company, from booking radius to special pricing, vehicle and driver capabilities, airport runs, even coupons. TaxiBot has the logic built in to give you a competitive edge. Contact us today to get your Cab Fusion WhatsApp TaxiBot powered by Cordic, an easier way to get more taxi bookings.
Okay, so with that one, obviously we have this WhatsApp booking technology. This one is by M2M. We also have a relationship with Vale. So other WhatsApp taxi bookers are available. We don't want to be annoying one of our other partners, but it's just a way that this is how they will book cabs. They are more than happy to book it by WhatsApp. If it's a one word, to WhatsApp, they'll do it. And we've got to make sure that we get in front of them. We have to also learn that we do have two customers, the driver and the customer. As most of you know, obviously provincial private hire, the truth is that a lot of the time, the passenger is not your passenger or your customer at all. It's the guy that's paying you rent if you're still on a rent basis, which isn't, it's not uncommon for people to be still doing that. So at the end of the day, making sure that your drivers have got jobs and endless jobs is the best thing for your business. So we need to provide a better service to both of those people, to passengers and to customers, to ensure that they want to use us in the future. So what advantages do they have over us? Obviously they have availability almost anywhere, because they have got, in where the apps operate, they have a critical mass of drivers that mean that they can provide a service which is seriously good. We've spent a long time sort of poo-pooing what they do and going, oh yeah, it's an Uber driver. It's like there isn't a separate pot of good drivers, bad drivers. Most of the Ubers I've ever taken, a mission that I've taken on, have been brilliant. They've been on time, the guy's been fine, the car's been spotless and clean. It's been a perfectly pleasant ride. So any notion that we're better than them and therefore people will use us, it's simply not the case. We've got to be absolutely objective and make sure that we can deliver something that is as efficient and as slick. So, there's a lot less leading miles for their drivers because they've got a lot more demand, etc., etc. And we know that means drivers like this. So, we all do share the same problems in the industry. Pretty much every operator, even post-COVID, we've seen numbers come back a little bit. We're probably up to about 3/4 of the drivers that we were. In fact, we are 5% up countrywide on where we were pre-COVID. We're at 15, I think the number's 344 in the UK, private hire drivers, and that's up from before COVID. But the thing is, not many of us have got too many drivers. That is a fact. Everybody is constantly looking for drivers. And obviously no drivers, that means it's very difficult to retain your customers, because it is a downward cycle. No drivers, no customers, and before you know it, the business is suffering, and people have suffered a lot. And of course, they do have an efficiency due to the scale, also due to the way that they do what they do. There's no operational overheads, there's no staff, there's no call centres, it's just a slick app and it does that. So of course we have an inefficiency due to our lack of scale in that way. So what do we have? Together we are stronger than them. The truth is that when you put all of what we've got together, and compare it to what Uber have got, what Bolt have got, what Free Now have got. We eclipse them massively. They are in, centres of urban conurbations. That's where they do what they do. But where I live, North Kent coast, if I was to go onto Uber, it's like, last year it was like, sorry, we're not in your area at all. Now it tells me, oh, a longer wait. So they are penetrating out from the suburb, from the city, into suburbs and now into slightly more rural areas. But still, they cannot do what we can do. And that is the fact that we are absolutely everywhere, whether it be Rockies and Haverfordwest, or whether it be King UC cabs, or whatever. It might be a one-man band in the middle of West Wales. We obviously believe that there's a way to bring everybody into the mix to allow us all to play together. So we can actually be more geographically sort of disparate than they are right now. Anyway, we can cover more territory. We can do it already. So how do we make that work for us? Okay. So one of the things that we found when we were looking at what actually happens in private hire right now is that obviously all of our investors are operators, and we looked at how many times they are saying no, and that means a job doesn't even go into the system. They're over capacity. It's Saturday night. Sorry, we can't help you. Sorry, we're in the wrong area. We can't do that job, and they say no. And obviously, the study with these guys, the study with the Take Me group, and it turns out that between around about 8 to 13% of the time throughout a week, your work that you've paid marketing for has come through the door that is now actually wants a cab from you. You're saying no to it because it's not right for you, it's in the wrong area, etc., etc. So, the whole idea of Cab Fusion is that you don't say no anymore. Put those jobs into our work pool and allow us to find a home for that job. Because otherwise, if we don't get it done by another traditional private hire operator, where do you think it's going to go? It's going to get churned to Uber. And if they go there, then there's an awful lot of chance that they won't come back. They found that it worked for them. Why should I bother? It's like the good old days when they remembered one cab number. They remember that cab number until you piss them off. And then they remember another cab number. And then eventually they lose favour and they might come back to you. But we need to make sure that we retain these guys and keep them as our customers by saying yes. That means wherever they are, we say yes to them. Even if it's a job that's miles out of your area, say yes, and we will find a home for it. So obviously, what we are doing is empowering us all to come together. The Cab Fusion network, for anybody who doesn't know what we're trying to do, we're not just trying to be an aggregator. Of course, we're looking for demand to put into the operators that are on our system, to give you jobs, incremental jobs that you might not have had because they're from a train or an operating company or a hotel group or whatever. But where we believe that the bulk of what can be gleaned from this and what we can actually capitalise upon is all of that work that we all reject. And we believe that across Dispatch platform, this is what we're trying to do. We've integrated already with Sherlock and with Catalina Freedom. These are smaller operators, but they're all smaller DMSs. But nevertheless, the idea is that we build a completely agnostic platform. So even though we own Cordic technology, Cab Fusion owns Cordic technology, the reason for buying that, obviously we'll talk about it more in the future, was because they know how to build dispatch technology and how to build mobility products, really. So we need people that were technically capable of doing that. So we obviously, it's important for us to not, for Cab Fusion to be agnostic. It's, yes, some of the technology is built by Cordic, but the way that it will operate isn't that Cordic operators will have any preference on the systems or anything of that nature. We want a situation where, obviously, regardless of what dispatch you're on, you can play ball, and that's what we're trying to build here. The idea of obviously make more money for your driver, give them jobs when they're in the middle of nowhere, where they would never have had a job from you before, because they get one from one of your competitors 4 miles down the road when it just happens to have dropped off Mrs. Jones down there that isn't your normal area of operation. We think that more drivers, more jobs for drivers, it's the growth curve that you need. Whenever you're keeping them fed and watered, even if and also when people's peaks are and troughs. A peak is any time that you're over capacity. It doesn't necessarily mean it's only Friday night, school runs, those times. There can be, Phil obviously works his company's in Warrington, and it is set up in such a way that if one of the roads, the arterial roads of Warrington, is blocked, all of a sudden half of his fleet is stuck somewhere and he can't do anything. So what happens at that time? It's a prime opportunity, even if it's 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, to be over capacity. And what are you going to do to make sure that you can still get customers' cars? So, the idea of giving it to the guy up the road, I know it seems counterintuitive, but he is not the guy that's trying to eat your lunch and actually finish up the industry off. He's just another guy trying to struggle like you. Give him a job and he'll give you another job next week, you know what I mean? Or tomorrow or later that day. So that's what we're trying to achieve here. Keeping them loyal. So how do we achieve the goal that we're trying to actually overcome here? Step 1, create a national network. That's what we're trying to do with operators everywhere. We will be looking for any operator that wants to be part of the network to be part of the network. It's the only barriers right now are obviously technology, but if you express a desire to be part of it, we want to make sure that we've got an enormous consensus to be able to speak to other dispatch manufacturers, etc., and say, look, we've got 150 of your fleets that want to do this. You've got a responsibility to actually do this for them because this is what they want. Obviously, we want you to retain your own identity and allow us all to work together. So we do believe that the marketing of your own fleet and doing what you've always done, we don't expect you to put any of that on the back burner or to somehow become a cab fusion fleet. We just expect, that you will be part of this network, and that's what we hope. We want you to retain your own preferred dispatch software. Even though we own Cordic, we're not actually out here. We're not here going, oh, we'll come and join Cordic and be part of the network. What we're actually saying to other dispatch manufacturers is allow your operators, your customers to come and play on our network and keep your customers, keep them happy, but allow them to be part of this thing. So, we've had conversations, we continue to have conversations with them. But, we'll get there in the end, even if it takes death threats. But in the meantime, obviously, we get you jobs from other operators. That's exactly what we're trying to do here. We know everybody has an area of operation, and beyond that area of operation, all of a sudden it's not where you want to be doing what you're doing. So you might say no to it. Give it to someone else. It could be bang in the middle of where he does what he does. So obviously we share our excess work, etc., etc. And the main reason for all of that is the preventing of churn to apps. So what kind of jobs can we share? You've got a driver, an out of area job, a guy that's just dropped off at an airport, could be coming back from the airport. There are multiple, bookings that fit the bill. But right now, you probably just say no to it. So don't say no to them anymore. Let us find a home for them for you. So how do we do this? Say yes to every job. Obviously, sorry, some of the slides a bit repetitive. It's not my fault. But it is about more jobs, more drivers, etc. And probably, if anybody, I might look for a job after. Only kidding. So what is in it for you? Yeah, retaining the value of a business that you have spent the last 20 years building is, the fear from a lot of operators of, is my business going to be worth anything in 5 years' time? There's an awful lot of, look how much consolidation and how much, large buying of fleets is going on out there, because there are a lot of operators who are, motivated sellers who want to get out now because they're frightened that in 5-10 years' time, Uber might have eaten them for breakfast and it's now worth nothing. There's nothing for their kids. There's nothing left anymore. But we believe that staying relevant and being in this game, is how you're going to retain the value in this business that you've spent years doing. Stop saying no to your customers. That means you keep them. Every time that you say no to one of them, it simply is an opportunity for them to go and download an app if they haven't already got one, go on there and never be seen again. And of course, drivers, we all know drivers, it's always rubbish, and they always want more. So get them more, and that's what we're trying to help you to do here. Empower you to get more rides for your guys. What are the obstacles to actually making this happen? Well, technically, it requires a lot of skill development, because what we're trying to do here is not just be able to put a job into a system in the kind of traditional API integration with that you might see with an aggregator. CMAP can put a job into your system, etc. That's easy. What we're trying to do here is to allow you to export a job seamlessly from your system, put it into our world, and allow us to now put that into the system of another operator that we know has a car on the doorstep. So effectively turn you guys into a massive virtual fleet. So, you know, also the idea that you're going to give the guy that you've been at war with, and sometimes, you know, literally been at war with for the last 20 years, why are you going to give him a job? You know, so it is counterintuitive, but we've already seen it happening. I mean, obviously, we've got Keith in, and we've got a lot of other London operators in, and they have been swapping, you know, hundreds of jobs, thousands of jobs in London for years now. And, you know, people sort of thought, well, is this going to happen? Is it going to work? Well, no, it has worked, and it just means that they do more work than they would have done if they hadn't all been, you know, cool and work together. So the idea of sharing does indeed work. Now, obviously, the biggest probably obstacle that we face right now is indeed that dispatch manufacturers don't see that this collaboration will keep their customers loyal yet. I don't think people have been making enough noise truthfully, to Bob and to Safa and say, we really want to do this, and it's a problem. If you won't let us do this and be part of this economy that we feel could save us, you know, where does your loyalty lie? Does your loyalty, you know, surely there must be at what we want to do here as operators as a consensus. You know, should not force them, but should motivate them to actually do this. They should want to do it because it's good for you guys. And obviously, it's the best way of keeping an operator loyal to their system. Just do it. Just allow us to do this integration. But you know, obviously, because we own Cordic, it's seen as there's a direct competitor in the mix. But that's not what we're trying to do here. It's not about selling more of our system. It's about using that technology to empower all of the other systems. Okay, so I've probably already really covered this, but it's uncomfortable to work with a competitor, and that's that. Okay, probably getting on there. How do operators build their own network? Part one. Yeah, we've built a steering group. These are things that we've already done. The steering group of operators that steer CapFusion are all, you know, they are operators. This is what they do. They own private hire companies. We've got SD, who owns MS Cars in London. We've got Joe Polo, who owns Park Cars. We've got Phil Bailey, who owns our cars in Warrington. These are the same people as you. They face the same challenge as you every day. So as the people to lead this or to understand what it is that CapFusion has to do, you know, we've always talked about it. Oh, wouldn't it be great if we had a network that was actually owned by operators for operators? We have, that is what we've done. Obviously setting up the vehicle to propel that dream, that's what CapFusion Network is. That's exactly what it's for. And how do you do that? By a dispatch system software, by a dispatch software company to build the technology required for two-way sharing. So we're standing on the shoulders of giants, really. I mean, obviously Cordic have been in the game for a long time and know how to build mobility products. So it's a natural, you don't go get a dev team that have never done this before, because about 3 years from now you'll have an inferior product to do it. So we believe that is the way to do it, and that's what we've done. Obviously, you bring a strong management team together to make the plan happen. We are a strong management team now. Just appointed a new CEO in the favour of Mr. Simon Weingard, who was one of the founders of Halo, so he knows our industry, but he is a serial startup king and has had great success in many businesses, and gives us the shape and the structure and the processes to grow, and that's absolutely vital for what we want to do here. Obviously, get operators everywhere involved. That's what we're trying to do, and that is very much work in progress at the moment. So the more the merrier. And obviously, establish an investment opportunity to allow operators to own their future. This is something that you can all own a part of. There is opportunity to invest in Q3, and we're opening up to operators that aren't Cordic operators. They can be operators that are on any system at all. But if you see any value in what we're doing and you want to own some of that future, then we welcome you to contact us. You know, for get our prospectus for Q3 when we will be running around an investment. Okay, so just to reaffirm, the vision was the sole purpose of CapFusion was to build a cross-dispatch software system platform that allows operators to share and accept work with other like-minded operators to maximise efficiencies and give passengers a better, more robust service network to rely on. And that is it. It hasn't changed. That's exactly what we're doing. That is the goal of all of this.
Exactly. I've got the mic here for Q&A. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'll go in the audience whenever you want me to.
Cool. Yeah. Listen, said that bit anyway. I need one of them. I need somebody with a flavour size clock to keep me on time. Okay, so listen, thanks. Any questions from anybody?
Okay, so I've got the microphone. Just put your hand up and I'll bring the microphone to you. Ladies, gentlemen, come on.
Come on, don't be shy. I don't bite.
Yes, we've got a gentleman here.
At the present time, how are talks going with ICAB and that together onto the system?
Look, we've spoken to them. At the moment, I've got to be honest, there's a reticence. You know, they are cautious, but we are still on talking terms, and we will. I believe that we've got to put the right commercial proposition to them to actually for them to be to come on board. They understand, as does everybody, that actually if this thing works, then the potential for it to be worth a great deal of money, is there. So they're not looking just to make the Cab Fusion network a very successful entity. The truth is that I think if there's something in it for everybody, which is exactly what we want, then we'll eventually get there. But we've spoken to them, and it was perfectly pleasant, but we haven't actually got to that point yet.
Any more questions?
Hey, can I ask you something about slide?
Yeah.
So as Dave says there, as Dave says there's an investment opportunity in Q3. Not going to go into detail, but here now we open to all operators and individuals, companies, entities that we feel would add value to us. Yeah? It's about engagement. One of the problems we face at the moment is the companies, such as DMS companies, reluctance to do it. It's not really helping our businesses and the threat that we have from Uber and the likes. The biggest thing we have is we're losing relevance, as Dave says, in the industry, and we're also not providing an alternative to the customer. We've all got taxi companies all over the shop here, yet customers don't know that you can get availability from us. Can't get us because we say no straight onto Uber, you can say yes. So further down the line, in around the Q3, we'll come to you a little bit further down the line, explaining what the investment opportunity is for you, and we welcome any participants to come and join us and speak to us about that. There is a line there, right? Dave, have you got an email address there?
Yeah, indeed. Actually, that's the invest at cabfusion.com. But we also, look, we've got a template email if you want. We'd be more than happy to give you our template for you to send off to Bob and Nick and to Safa and to any of the guys. Say you want to take part in this. We need to build a consensus to make it clear to those guys that you all want to participate. There's already a lot of people that said they'd be very up for it. They appreciate exactly what it could be. There's a desire to do this. But if you get in touch with us, come and speak to us on the stand. We will effectively bring you into the tent in terms of you want to participate. But stamp your feet. Make it very clear to them that you want to take part in a network that looks after us all. And it's got to be cross-platform. It's got to be.
At that point there, we're running behind schedule in a few moments. I'm sorry, we've got a 1 o'clock about seminar.
Yeah. That is a thing as well. Obviously, we are. I will mention that. We're also looking at ways. Is there a way? To sort of circumvent this? Can we get a job out of your system into us and then into somebody else without having to do it via an API? So also, if you would be interested in helping us with that, the proof of concept of that, if you'd like to see if we can find a way of allowing you to share, but in a very efficient way. We understand if it's going to be, you've got to type a load of stuff and it's got to be sent to here, an Excel file exported, it's not going to happen. But if we can find a really elegant solution to do that, we are looking for operators to help us do that as well.
Can I thank everyone for David's participation from the company? Thank you all very much.